Okay, this lecture is a continuation from the previous video. Now I'm gonna talk about SIP methods. What is SIP methods? SIP methods is an action taken by the user agent or the request they make. The following are some example of a SIP methods: register, invite, acknowledgement, cancel, buy, and option. For example, in register, used by the user agent to indicate that its current IP address and the URL for which it would like to receive calls. Uh, for invite is used to establish a media session between user agent. For example, when phone A try to make a call to a phone B, the first thing that it need to do is to send an invite methods, and then we wait for the acknowledgement from the other party. So acknowledgement is confirm that reliable message is exchanged. uh, the buy method is when phone B or phone A request to terminate the session, then the other party will confirms. I will explain you a little bit more about these SIP methods and messages in the next slide. Okay, SIP response codes. If you want to look at in your book, I put a reference here on page 398. What is SIP response code? Is used to respond to the methods or report the status or an error information. For example, 100 is a provisional, 200 is a success, 300 is redirection, 400 is a client error, and 500 is a server error, and 600, the last one, is a global failure. For example, when you when you try to browse on the internet, sometimes you receive an error message in the web page. It say 401 or 405 page cannot display. Okay, whenever you see 400 level, that means it's a client error. SIP messages. Remember in the earlier slide I mentioned about SIP method. The following list outline the basic process of a call. Phone A on the left hand side and phone B is on the right hand side. When the phone A want to make a call to phone B, it's gonna send an invite methods. Then the phone B gonna send a ringing and OK, and then the phone A will send acknowledgement method to phone B. When both of them say OK or acknowledge, then uh, both party can make both party can make both party can start the conversation. When A's want to hang up the call, they're gonna send a buy signal, and then the phone B say okay. So this is basically a SIP messages consists of some of the methods that we discussed earlier. um, I would suggest you read the textbook so you can a little bit more understand how does the SIP messages and methods work. Okay, SIP messages. Okay, as you can see in this PowerPoint, you see this is an invite method. The SIP is from Jane at example.com. The SIP version is 2.0. As you can see here is a protocol, is a UDP protocol. The IP address, which is 100, 100, 100, and 100. 5060. This is the port number of a SIP server. So whenever whenever there is a question about what port that the SIP protocol use, is 5060. Okay, the next one is SIP's response. You see the 100. 100 is a provisional response code, that means it's trying. So SIP version 2.0 is trying to make a call from Pat Smith to John Doe. Okay, here is the SIP address, pat at example.com and jen at example.com for two. All right, SIP components. Okay, this is in reference to page 393. I would advise students to read the textbook on page 393 and 394. Let me go over some of this concept here. What is user agent? Is the VoIP phone on the network. It can consist of hardware and software. For example, the Cisco IP phone 7940 series, that is an example of SIP phone. The software like Cisco IP communicator or X-Lite, that is a soft phone, like a software. Okay, SIP proxy. What is SIP proxy? Is the component that act as a server to one user agent and a client to another user agent or another proxy. Cisco Call Manager Express, Brikiki, IPPBX Brikiki, that program serve as a proxy. So before a user agent can make a call, they need to go through a SIP proxy. The next thing I'm going to talk about is registrar, is to manage the registration of the database. It contains the user agent's address mapping for the local networks. And redirect server is a SIP server that is capable of directing a user agent to the appropriate server in case that the the proxy or the registrar not available in the local database. So please familiarize with some of the concept here: user agent, SIP proxy, registrar, and redirect server. And GCP, this is the last protocol that we're gonna talk about in this chapter. Media Gateway Control Protocol is a client-server call management with a centralized control design. As you can see in this diagram, we have many different kind of protocol. For example, this is a SIP server, SIP protocol, and this is MGCP, is a Media Gateway Control Protocol. There is another protocol called Skinny Protocol, which is a Cisco proprietary protocol. Uh, MGCP server control the gateway used to connect VoIP networks to other networks. Okay, addressing and directory services. Addressing is a uniform resource indicator. Okay, let me double check with the terms here. URI, uniform resource indicator. For example, in SIP, the address is // do at example.com. So if everyone start using a SIP phone, then we don't need a phone number anymore like 956872000. Then whenever we want to make a call, we can just use John_do. Similarly with H323 protocol there. So let's move on to the next one. Well, actually this is the end of the slide. So in this chapter we have discussed the element of converged networks, the different types of signaling protocol, H323 SIPs, and the different kind of codecs, G711, G722, RLBC, and G729. Then we talk about protocol in depth, such as RTP, RTCP, H323, SIP, and MGCP. Thank you for the time. Thank you for your time of watching this video, and I look forward to the next one. Thank you.